Welcome back to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Rain, and today I have a special guest. Now, I've talked about this project endlessly for the last 2 months because they've been part of our 401j giveaways, and once we cross 25,000 subscribers, and we're very close, we're going to start giving away those 401js. And they were nice enough to let us put $1,000 on your behalf for five $200 allocations. Now, they're $200 at the IDO price. They have since launched just recently, and their price has gone up, and so they're worth more than $200 each. And that's really exciting. I know a lot of my audience, you either haven't participated in IDOs or other things, and so we were able to get some of those allocations. And this project is doing something revolutionary that had me really excited when I heard about them, and that's why I wanted to do these 401js for you. And the project is Fidira, and today we have two co-founders on to tell you more about Fidira and what they're doing and why I'm so excited. So let's welcome them in. All right, Anouk and Fadi, are you there?
Yep, we're
Yep,
here.
how are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. Really excited to have you.
Glad
Thanks
to
for
Now,
be here.
having us on and getting us out to your community. Always fun.
Now, in two videos, I've gone more in depth about what it is, but for my audience that's missed those two videos, could you tell the audience more generally more about Fidira?
Sure. So Fidira started 3 years ago. Actually, we've been out there for a long time trying to get this product launched, and it's been a whirlwind, obviously. So we did start 3 years ago, and the whole idea was we'd started another business at the time, and was a car share business. And what happened was a friend of mine a blockchain. I said, yeah, look, that all sounds fantastic, but a bit more complicated than just putting a business on blockchain. So we got involved in the crypto space back then and started looking at buying crypto and how to do it. And it was really complicated. And, quite often, interesting enough, it's still complicated for new users. It's still not easy. So
Mm-hmm.
the idea was, well, it's a commodity like anything else. Why can't I go to the shops and buy cryptocurrency like I can buy milk or bread or any other commodity that's out there? And obviously you couldn't. So we thought, well, let's do it so you can. And the only way or the easiest model to do that, which I came up with at the time, was essentially a gift card. So the idea is, well, you can go to your local retail store and buy yourself a Visa gift card, a Google gift card, iTunes, you name it. Why don't we set up a cryptocurrency gift card at the same time? And that's where Fidira began. So we were launching 3 years ago, and we were doing an ICO and all that sort of stuff, and we just didn't think the market was ready for it at the time, and ICOs were still peaking, but it was a bit of a false economy, and we just weren't comfortable launching a product in an environment which we didn't feel confident in. So we didn't do it, and we went back to the drawing board, and we kept working on our relationships with our distributors. We kept working on our tech. We kept working on those sort of things. We watched the crypto winter come through and sort
Mm-hmm.
of sweep everybody off anyway. And reality is bloody lucky we didn't launch. And about a year ago, I think it is now, we came back into the fold, and we were away on holidays, and everyone started talking crypto again, didn't they? And oh, look at this, I got that, and crypto's going up, BTC's doing this. So we thought about it, but well, yeah, problem still hasn't changed, has it? It's still really hard to buy crypto for new users. How do you trade it? What do you do with it? And how the hell do you sell it if you made all this money? And how do you use it in the real world? So reality was the problem hadn't been solved yet. So we said, okay, well, we'd already been working on it. Let's relaunch it. So we did. And what we added to it at that point there was the whole Web3 environment, the whole NFT space and the DeFi lending and the staking pools and the farming, all this really cool stuff, which was there before, but still not user friendly. So we've come back into the world, and we said, okay, problem's still the same. Tick, solve that problem. Go to your local store and buy a Fidira gift card, and there's $100 of crypto sitting there for you. But on top of that, let's do something really cool with it as well and give everybody an NFT as well. So now what happens is you go down to your local retailer once we launch it out of there in a few months' time, buy $100 gift card from Fidira, and you will get an NFT from one of our NFT partners. Now, we've got stacks of NFT partners, which is really cool, and we can go through some of those a bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a free NFT, which we will give out. So they're pretty sort of, generic. They're not really exclusive NFTs at this stage for those cards that are going out at $100, $200, $500. But what's really, really good is there are these random NFTs involved there as well. So what it means is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory sort of thing, isn't it? So you buy a $500 gift card and suddenly you get an NFT worth $5,000 because that was a lucky prize that came with that. So in that environment, you obviously, a couple of things happen. One is we're getting NFT companies out there, so people know about their NFTs, and whether it's a Chain Guardians or a Babylon's or a Forest Knight, whoever it may be, suddenly it's open to a new audience, which they didn't have before, which is your daily consumers, which is the person who just knocked off work and they're on their way home and decided to get petrol and saw the gift card on the shelf and just bought one, and suddenly they bought cryptocurrency and got themselves a cool NFT. So what happens in that space there is you need to buy the gift card. You've got to do a KYC depending on what region of the world you're in, obviously. So that's just global requirements. And you enter our Web2 environment space. So in that space there, people can buy crypto, sell crypto, trade crypto and sell crypto. So that the standard exchange protocols sit there. But what we're doing is just quick swaps. So it's just real easy stuff. Because we've got new users on there, there's no buy orders, no sell orders, no complicated graphs to look at, and all these sort of things. It's really simple. You've got $200 sitting in your wallet in fiat. Choose what currency you want to buy, and we'll just give you an exchange on it. Just bang, really simple. On the bottom of that, you'll see your NFT that you've got as well. So you can actually see the gift of the NFT. What we're going to encourage people and what we're going to teach people to do is, once they're ready and they're confident, is to move their wallet and understand how to use a wallet in a Web3 environment. So there's a bridging process, which we're going to do, run through a whole education process there. And that's when people can start using all the extra tools and functions, such as staking NFTs and staking FID and trading NFTs and farming them and all these sort of things that go with it as well. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of people that just sit in that Web2 environment and don't move from there. They're just comfortable and they buy themselves $1,000, $2,000 worth of BTC and forget about it. But then you're going to get all these new guys that aren't in the space yet and want to be in there, and we're just going to make it really simple for them to do so. So single button staking and so forth. So again, all the complexities which are currently around that environment, we're going to shed it back and just take it away and keep it simple. That's the onboarding side of it.
I really like the process that you're going to where people are at in a way that they understand it, right? So people understand gift cards. They understand going and buying gift cards. They understand going and getting an Xbox gift card or a PlayStation gift card or an Amazon gift card and giving it to a friend and then using the redemption code. So you're going to them in a way that they understand. And so I went to business school many years ago, and in business school they said anytime you have to teach your potential consumers how to do something, your business is going to fail. So you go where they're at, and this is why, like us, with kind of a tech background or some kind of nerd in us, we have to have some kind of nerd in us. And I studied computer science for the first year before I realized I'm not quite near as smart as the guy next to me on the tech stuff. I don't have enough nerd in me, but I have enough that I was way interested in it. Just not enough to be really good, like the guy next to me that was amazing and could do in 2 hours what would take me 12. So I went into business, which I like because I did get to interact more with people, but I still have always loved the tech side. Well, there's a lot of people that don't have any nerd in them, and they will be interested in crypto, but it's got to come to in a way that they don't have to sit down and wait. Like, I have to write down 24 words of a secret passcode to use. That's not going to happen for them, right? So when crypto gets them in a way that they can understand it first, then they can slowly integrate in other ways. And a lot of this stuff, like the 24 keywords, will go away, and there's a lot of projects working on that. But for now, you're bridging a big gap, that there's a big gap of, well, shoot, I want to get crypto. I don't know how to. Go to the local convenience store and buy a card that looks, is yellow. And they're like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, that's it. Simplicity of just having a QR code to scan on the back, and that downloads your wallet for you. And it just real basic stuff, which is surprising that they're in this space, and that's what everybody is. I'm not a tech at all. That's what we've got to look for. And yeah, I know nothing about it. The simple thing is, if I can understand it, make it simple for me as a consumer to understand, then everyone else can. It's not that complicated. And it shouldn't be complicated. It really should be simple. And that's what we've been working around to build that trust up and the ability for new users to use it. Yeah. And once they're in that space, you can go down whatever wormhole you like, so long as we can offer you that wormhole for you to go into, then that's fantastic.
I've got a little anecdote, if I can insert it. So 3 years ago was about the time when, the last cycle, was when the Bitcoin ATMs were all the rage, which is an attempt at doing this same thing, but the stupid way, really. Those things were not user-friendly at all. They were very expensive pieces of infrastructure to try and roll out to allow people to, get Bitcoin where they get their bread and their milk and their eggs once you rolled out hundreds of thousands of them. And I know people who got in early and bought, 15 Bitcoin for $15, got a piece of paper out with some numbers on it that they didn't understand and threw it in the bin. Right? Like, just this, it was a beautiful opportunity to have a big screen there with a video to walk you through and to actually, hold people's hands, and it was never taken. And gift cards does the same thing for just so much simpler, so much easier. And it's also a lot easier to move with the technology as it progresses.
Yeah, the Bitcoin ATMs didn't make sense to me from the standpoint. You go and put your card, and then they give you a printout, and then tracking that and keeping track of it, the risk of losing that is just so high, right? So complicated. So I haven't been a big believer in that. It's like, that isn't the solution. Your gift card, so I got a hold of, I was like, that makes sense. And so key in that is distribution and partnerships, right? Because key in that is distribution. Now, I don't know what you can announce or what you can't announce. What can you say about distribution to the audience?
Yeah. So there's a way we can announce it. So our major partner, our gift card distributing partner, is a company called Incom. So Incom is the world's leading gift card distributor. So you think of stores such as 7-Eleven and GameSpot, Target. They distribute for MasterCard, for Visa, for the whole lot. So basically, most of the global retailers around the world, Incom distribute to them, and they distribute for us. So really, it's a pretty much open sladder on our side of it. When I say it's an open sladder, we still obviously need to do all the legwork that goes with it. So what we're doing, we were originally launching out of Singapore, and as we do region by region, we've got a lot of legalities to push through at the same time. So we've had a couple of holdups out of Singapore. So what we've decided to do, and we are, as you can probably tell by accents, we are based in Australia. I am, and Anouk's got the accent, not so much an Aussie accent, but it's based here as well. So for us, low-hanging fruit essentially was, let's just launch out of the area we're in. So we're doing a launch out of Australia first. So we're working on that now. We will be digital sales before Christmas, which means that you can go to Fidira.io and start buying gift cards before Christmas and give them to family and friends as presents, and you can buy from anywhere in the world, as long as you go to our website and do that. We will be selling, hopefully, digital gift cards through some of our retail partners before Christmas as well. So a lot of the online digital platforms for gift card sales, which is massive. It's a $6 billion business. It's astronomical. So they will also be selling Fidira before Christmas. We are aiming to be on the, let's call it, supermarket shelf at your retail convenience store, roll out probably February 2022. Biggest constraint at the moment is COVID's just, there's no paper, there's no printing, it's just a bloody nightmare. So by the time we're catching up with that, there's about a 3-4 month backlog at the moment. So we will announce our retail partners in coming months, probably just before Christmas. And you will be able to buy it out of most convenient retail stores in Australia by February, and New Zealand by February as well. Pretty closely followed. We're just finishing legals off for Singapore at the moment. So essentially, as we move regions, we do need to get different licensing, as I was saying, and that's just legal processes. So as we open up, so Singapore, Southeast Asia, aiming to be in UK, Europe, probably by April to June next year. It'll be UK, Europe, Canada, sort of depends where the lawyers work faster, I guess. America's still off the books. Yeah, America's still off the books for a little while. We are finding ways through, and we think we might have found a way through to get onto the shelf there. And then obviously South America and so forth. Again, it's just a matter of how quick can we get into these regions? How much you got to do a lot of marketing, obviously, a lot of printing, a lot of publishing. But essentially, Incom's biggest clients are, as I said, 7-Elevens, Costco's, Targets, supermarkets around the world. So anywhere you currently see a gift card for sale, you'll see a Fidira gift card next to it in the future. And that's where we're at. Yeah. There's a whole big other aspect. Yeah, it's really cool. There's a whole other aspect too, which people just don't even think about in the gift card space. And it's actually corporate gift cards. And that's massive. So you think of clients such as airline companies and Google and Microsoft, they all give their staff gift cards and presents. So we've already got a relationship in there on the corporate gift card side where, let's say Google, for example, will take 200,000 gift cards at a hit, and they'll distribute Fidira gift cards to all their staff, and suddenly it's all these new people that now have Fidira. So, and that really, and look, we'll talk about it shortly, that really sort of drives the tokenomics of Fidira in a way which no other currency has that ability to, where everybody who's buying Fidira, everyone's buying a gift card, essentially using the tokenomics of Fidira in a way which no one else has that reach to do. So we think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that. Really excited with how that's coming together. I was thinking a lot too about, I'm working on the course, and it's kind of a catch-up course for a lot of my audience. It's just barely getting started. Now, some of my audience I've been recording since December and January. They've heard a lot of this stuff, but I'm kind of developing a catch-up course and a condensed course for those that have joined us in the last 2 or 3 months. I'm trying to condense it into 7 things. And one of the things I was recording about today was projects. When you're evaluating a project and a project is just launching, one of the things you want to look at is when really was their start date. Like, because if they just started 6 months ago, there's a development cycle in a business, right? And if they just started 6 months ago, they're really 3 to 4 years out from being like shelf ready or somehow ready with their product where it's ready to go. And sometimes it's 6 years. Like Cardano launched in 2015. And so it's really just had some big updates. And that just shows you the life cycle that's just there. And so I always prefer projects that started 3 to 4 years ago, because then they're ready to have something ready and tangible pretty soon, right? And that's one of the things I really liked about Fidira is you've been working on this concept in different stages of pushing it through for 4 years. And you had the relationships and created the relationships to bring something to happen. And thank goodness you waited to launch, because a lot of technology has shifted and changed, which actually works even better for some of the things that you're doing. It's exciting what's going on. What's your thoughts, Anouk?
Yeah, well, I think this is the right cycle to bring a lot of people on. A lot of the teething problems, if you will, of the technology have been worked out. There's a lot more established standards, and also we've had a little bit of time to wash out some of the DeFi projects and figure out what works and what doesn't work. And, especially in terms of the staking and that sort of thing, Fidira won't be chasing the very bleeding edge of the very latest unproven pool that's, promising 1,000,000% return and then gets rug pulled tomorrow. We will be curating these pools to make sure that all the users are, safe and protected and that sort of thing, and getting returns that they could never get at their bank, because we've had enough time now in this space to see people actually create real value, and especially in that DeFi space.
if we could, let's take a second to kind of walk the viewers through the cycle of this, so they can go to for the next few months they could buy it online, and they could get a Fidira gift card and get the free NFT with it, and they might get like a $5, might have a value of $5, might, if they get really lucky, have one that's really worth a lot from the different partners that you work with, and Fidira pays for those, so they get given to the person for free plus whatever value of card that they bought. And then so they get that, then they have Fidira, and then they can use Fidira in DeFi, right? Which is kind of what you were just talking about. So they can go ahead and can you tell us more about how that's going to work?
So we've got a few staking pools up now, and we will be launching more new staking pools on an ongoing rolling basis. And the main thing is that's a way that we're introducing people to staking, and it's a way that we're introducing people to a lot of different NFTs and NFT projects. So for staking Fidira, and for, I think it's safe to announce now, we'll be doing liquidity pool staking as well. So first, if you have just Fidira, you can stake it, and you can earn a little bit of, you can look at it as interest, right? A little bit of return in Fidira, but more importantly, it will open up access to different catalogs of NFTs that you can earn an NFT or multiple NFTs from a pool, and you can also earn the right to be able to buy from different collections depending on how much you've staked. So that's sort of a new thing that isn't really done yet, but we thought it was a very good way of introducing people to both staking and NFTs and the use of NFTs. In terms of liquidity staking, so we'll be announcing the first liquidity pool in the next few weeks. And liquidity pools, I mean, you probably know this, Ryan, but for your members who don't, liquidity pools are the way that the DeFi space really allows the exchange of one token for another. So in the legacy financial world, if you're setting up an exchange like the NASDAQ or something, you'll be bringing on board very large organizations to do market making, and they will effectively sit on the opposite side of every trade and make a little clip on the way through, but they'll need millions of dollars and millions of shares to be able to do that. And in the DeFi space, absolutely anyone can participate in that process. So they can simply put in, say, $50 of Fidira, right, the FID token, and $50 of ETH, and they can put it up. It could be less if they wanted, but for sake of, as an example, they can put that in. And anytime anybody swaps ETH for FID or back, they will make a little percentage on that. And depending on what happens with the prices in the market, there is a chance that you have what's called impermanent loss in that. So it's not risk-free. I just want everybody to know it's not risk-free. But because of that, we're also incentivizing people to offset that risk to make sure they get a return. And again, we will be giving people access and rewarding them in NFTs as well as tokens from partner organizations, usually the NFT partners, so that when people walk away with an NFT for having provided liquidity, they will also walk away with some tokens from a project that allows them to use that NFT in the way it was intended for different projects.
That's a lot of fun. I was just checking out the website and the staking options. For those that want to, I'll put it in the description below, but it's fidira.io. And then you just go to the staking tab and it kind of lays it out and explains it. You gave a very quick yet concise definition of DeFi and how it's using providing liquidity. Probably the fastest explanation I've ever heard from somebody that was understandable.
Thanks.
Now, thank goodness, too, you didn't launch 4 years ago, because if you had, you would have launched on Ethereum, and that would have been deadly because of the transaction costs. As it is, you launch your token, thank goodness, on Polygon. So there we go. Like, the transaction costs are just nil compared to
Yeah.
comparatively, right? And the whole, like, providing liquidity and also like farming and everything on Ethereum, it doesn't make sense for you to do any farming unless you're putting $50,000 into things, because you're going to pay a $250 transaction cost when you're running these complex transactions just to harvest some of your gains. But on Polygon, your transaction costs are cents, if that.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of the liquidity pools, if you weren't going in with $1,000 or $2,000 on Ethereum, you wouldn't even look at it. And smaller as possible. The most expensive part of Polygon, maybe if you've got ETH already on the Ethereum blockchain, bridging it across. And then once you're across on Polygon, it's easy sailing.
Or a quick way to get in there is some quick ways that if you send your ETH to, say, KuCoin, and from KuCoin you go ahead and buy Matic, and you send your Matic in. It'll cost you very little to withdraw your Matic and bring it in, because that'll save you a bunch. You'll pay a smaller transaction fee sending the ETH to, say, KuCoin. Then you make the swap and bring it in. For those that want to save some money, because I tried to do a transaction earlier today, $250. Yesterday I did pay for one that was $370. Man,
That's
it was
exactly
worth
what
it.
we've been saying. Just to go through your exchange and withdraw.
Yeah.
It is the cheapest option.
Yep, exactly.
We'll be on centralized exchanges shortly, so we're just waiting on those to get approval. But KuCoin and IO Gate and whatnot, so hopefully we're on there fairly soon. But there is obviously just a process we're still going through, and increase those centralized exchanges fairly quickly, so it makes it easier and easier for people who don't want to play around in that other space. But for now, still got to go through Polygon.
Well, in Polygon's fine. Like QuickSwap, I've been using QuickSwap for 6 months now. If you're a new user and you haven't used it, it does take a little bit of getting used to, but it's essentially Uniswap on Polygon. And so the transactions do sometimes get a little bit backlogged. Sometimes they're a little bit slow. But when you're paying pennies versus, my $300+ transaction actually went through in about 10 seconds. Just so expensive and so ridiculous. So that transaction was hostage. It was something only on Uniswap, and I had to make a swap to something else on Uniswap, and so I was hostage to doing it then. Anyway, I was so happy when I learned that you were launching on Polygon, because it really fits with what you're doing here.
I think just another note, I think our liquidity pools are filled up at this stage, the staking pools. I think we'll do another one tomorrow.
Okay.
Have it up and running so you all guys can get in there and start filling that at the same time. So we'll get that up and running in the next 48 hours. So
What's interesting,
don't once you bought Fed, you'll be able to lock it away.
I didn't know about the staking pools like that so soon. What's interesting was I was looking at your charts. I'm not going to ask you about price. I never ask teams about price. Some regulators really don't like people talking about their own price. I can talk about it all I want. But it hit the 40-cent floor, and it just has bounced along that several times. And I'm like, what is causing that? That's really interesting, that every time it hits 40 cents, it gets bought up. And it's like, oh, your staking went live. And so people were like, okay, 40 cents, I'm going to buy a bunch. And probably put in a staking, and so that created a lot of buy pressure. So great. Now, what was the token launch price for the IDOs?
15 cents.
15 cents. So essentially, those 401Js have tripled in value, and that's just so far. Hopefully the audience is starting to get a feel for where this project is going and why I've been excited about it.
It's been good. We sort of hit a 70 cents or somewhere or other, obviously, then just tapered back and sitting at that 40 to 50 cent mark, which has been really good to see the stability there. So it's been really confident the community's happy with that. And it's we weren't looking for that massive spike. We want that steady growth aspect. And because we're not actually launching the gift cards for another 2 months, we know there's a real lot of upside to come. So it's just a steady growth, keep the community happy, and we've got a lot of investors, a lot of people have been buying Fid, so we've got a lot of wallet addresses, which is really, really positive. And you know, in everything you do, there's always the dumpers, and they've come and gone, which is great. And now we've got the people that want the long-term longevity of Fidira. So yeah, we're very confident with it at the moment. And look, to be honest, we haven't made any big announcements yet, and we'll start announcing our retail partners in the coming few weeks. And once people get an idea of the actual brand names that we've got on, and more of the NFT partners that we're partnering up with, then I think there's a lot more upside still. So yeah, we're a long-term business. That's a definite roadmap.
Yeah, I liked about that. And, you know, for my audience, I don't love to see like a 70x from launch, because how's my audience going to be able to get into that? Like, if they bought at 70x, I would kick them out of the community. And I wouldn't really kick them out of the community. I would probably just say, okay, well, you made that mistake. Please don't do that again for yourself and your family, because your chances that it continues going up. So I like it when launches like actually come and they're only like very small multiples from the IDO price, because then it creates good entries, because you know, my audience can't be on all the different launch pads. So even if they're interested in something, they might not be holding tokens for that launch pad, or the token price may have gone up on those and they don't get in. And so it's really nice when it comes out that they're buyable at a price that makes sense. So yeah, that I'm trying to figure out your market cap. I can figure that out really quick if we have an idea how much of your supply is in circulation. It's 100 million total supply.
Total supply. There's 1.1 million in circulation at the moment.
Oh, that's
so
fantastic.
Not much out there. Yeah, we've kept it small. The project was pretty much self-funded up until, well, obviously it was self-funded all the way through. We didn't need to raise a lot of money. It was more market awareness and get the product out there and get people to know who we are and what we're actually doing. And that's why it was important for us to get a lot of buy-in from the community, as more so as to try and pump a price. It wasn't our aim. Our aim was to get people aware of the product, because we're a front-end real-world solution. It makes us very different to other crypto businesses, which don't need that sort of exposure. So we need people to start telling their mates about it, and it's that sort of thing. As a crypto user, it's going to be really easy for you to get someone else onboarded into crypto. You don't have to open a wallet for them and teach them how to hold a sign up and do their KYC and all these really annoying stuff. It's just, go to the shops and buy it, or better still, get online and just buy it for them. Buy them a $50 gift card or a $100 gift card. Here's a birthday present. You don't have to do anything anymore. How many times have you had to sit there and help someone open a wallet and teach them how to do it? I'll go to this exchange. You can trust these guys, or you can't trust them. So yeah, that's the idea of it. So the more people using Fidira, the more people are going to give it to their mates and their mum and their dad and their neighbor and whoever else they want to have a wallet. And that's the whole idea of it. Keep pushing it.
I think that paints a good picture of Fidira for the audience, and we thank you for joining us. I've loved having you on. I love your project, what you're doing. For me, it connects the different dots that I like in projects. And so that's why thank you for doing that deal with the audience. The 401J is really excited about that, and we're excited to start giving them away soon. And thank you for joining us.
Pleasure. Thanks for having us on. Always fun.
Good. Thanks,
sure
Rain.
thing. Love to have you on again in a couple months. You'll have some retail partners announced, and once those are going into, before they start going into shops, I'd love to have you on again to talk about that. And that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll give you some gift cards to give away to people, which would be really cool. You actually start receiving some, and they can have them for Christmas, so that'd be good. Yeah, happy to do that. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Foudy. Thanks, Anouk.
Thank you.
Great to be here, Rain. Cheers. Bye.
So I think you can understand why I'm excited in this one and why I want to make this special partnership. Two great gentlemen, and it was nice of them to both join us and share with us more about Fidira. Now, will this come together? I think so, and I think it's going to come together quite well. And personally, I'm really happy it didn't take off from the IDO price. I do like what I see here. I do think it'll do well. I loaded up a bunch of this myself So yeah. Anyway, it's a market cap. If those numbers, puts in a market cap of about $600,000 right now. Now you will have some pre-sale tokens unlocked every once in a while. I don't know what the vesting schedule is, but that market cap is extremely interesting to me. So I want to thank you for joining us, and I've got this Rainmaker app for all of you, reinforcing the principles that helped me go from thousands to millions in just 4 years.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, be bad before you're good. Was taught to buy when it was boring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I sit the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. The principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. The time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but when knowledge the gain show. Sticking at this wrong cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. I'm sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. In 2 years time the bull will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crapping. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.